No niin, hieman updatea tähän tilanteeseen. Eli mä tein poliisille rikosilmoituksen asiasta. Ja sitten tuolta mediastakin otettiin yhteyttä, niin toivotaan, että ne tekee jutun tästä, niin sitten saisi vähän laajemmallekin yleisölle tietoa, että kannattaa olla varovainen, jos näkee näitä tämmöisiä mainoksia. Ja noihin edellisellä videolla näyttää tämän mainoksen, eli mä sain seuraajalta tämän screenshotin tästä. Ja on saanut myös videon siitä, niin nyt mä oon nähnyt sen. Eli se on periaatteessa tämä alkuosa mun videosta on otettu siihen. Ja sitten siinä kohtaa, missä mä alan näyttää niitä eri brändien tuotteita, ja sinne on leikannut just siitä sen video, että siinä ei näy niitä niin kuin muita brändejä. Sitten tossa on, niillä on semmoinen linkki, mikä sitten vie sinne niiden verkkosivuille, kun tämmöinen kuin inloveparfume.com. Ja yritin lähettää sinne sähköpostia. Mä luulin, että se meni perille, mutta sitten päivän päästä tuli niinku tämmöinen vastaus, että se ei ole mennyt perille se sähköposti. Se vieläkin pyörii tuolla se mainos, että sitä ei ole vieläkään otettu alas ja semmoista. Jos muuten joskus tilaatte tuotteita semmoisilta verkkosivuilta, josta ette ole ihan varmoja, ette ole aiemmin vaikka tilannut sieltä, niin mä yleensä teen silleen, että mä googlaan sen sivuston ja niin katson, että on muilla jotain kokemuksia. Mutta jos et sä löydä niitäkään mitään tietoja, niin sit mä yleensä aina maksan joko laskulla otan sen, tai sitten jos ei ole sitä mahdollisuutta, niin sitten mä maksan luottokortilla. Koska sitten, jos se on joku huijausjuttu, niin sä saat sieltä sitten ne rahat takaisin. Ai niin, ja ensisijaisesti tietysti ennen kuin ollaan laittaa mitään korttitietoja suoraan niiden sivuille, niin jos siellä on mahdollisuus niin kuin PayPalilla tai Klarnalla maksaa tai näin, niin ne on tietysti aina paremmat. Jos tonne e-smilelle käymään, mulla tuli jo varmaan yli 2 viikkoa sitten viestiä niiltä, että mun uudet, mitkä ne on, mä en muista, sillä oli joku hieno sana, mutta mä kutsun niitä nyt vaikka pysykää hampaat paikoillaan ne muotit, niin käyn hakeen semmoset sieltä. Mä muuten aloitin nyt kans tämmösen acne-ruokavalion. Mä niinku googlasin vaan, että acne food, ja sieltä otin ensimmäisen artikkelin, mikä tuli Googlesta, ja katoin sieltä listan, mitä niinku suositellaan, että kannattaa syödä ja mitä ei kannata syödä. Mä annan updatea sitten, että miten menee. Jos muuten joku on testannut, niin kertokaa tuolla kommenteissa, että onko toiminut teillä. Joo, mä alan tästä hipsimään keskustaa kohti. Oikein ihanaa päivää sinne ja nähdään seuraavalla videolla. Bye bye!
Okay guys, update on sneaking out. Okay, so he picks me up around like 10, and so I go and get in his car. Well, it wasn't a car, it was a truck. It was like a beat up red truck, and immediately after that, things were getting really weird. So anyways, as I was saying, things immediately started getting really weird. Like, I get in his truck, and I can immediately tell he's like old. Like, I know I got catfished. So it's like 10 o'clock at night. Both my parents are asleep. I'm in this random old dude's truck. But I looked past that because, you know, he's genuinely like so sweet. So anyways, we get to his house. Well, he lives in this like rundown trailer. And we walked in and his mom was sitting on the couch. So I was like, okay, he must be like at least like, you know, younger. Because he's still living with his mom. Anyways. So we go to his room and then we start watching Netflix, and then I'm getting a call from my mother, and this woman is freaking the flip out. So I had to go home and my mom was waiting on me outside the door. But me and Finja are still texting on Snap, and I will go sneak out again to see him. Because this is true love. Nothing is stopping me. But more of the story, don't sneak out to see Finja, because your mom might get a little bit mad at you. But I am grounded right now, and so I don't know. But I still have my phone, so it's fine.
What lesson took you the longest to unlearn? Mine was that I can't fix everybody, and I shouldn't be with people if I'm trying to fix them. I need to learn how to be supportive and actually love someone for once.
Get ready with me whilst I tell you about how I got scammed on Facebook Marketplace. This is the second time I've had to redo this. So I was looking to buy a Canon G7X Mark II or 3. I went onto the Canon website and they don't sell on there for some reason. I don't know if it's like that anywhere else or if it's just in Thailand. Then I checked all the other camera stores online. Nowhere sold it. It was either sold out or it just didn't exist. So I was like, hey, might as well just check the Facebook Marketplace. I went on there, I searched up Canon G7X. I found the camera that I wanted. I found multiple of them, by the way, but a lot of them were in the like 20,000 baht, around like $600. And I came across this one that was half the price. It was about $250, $260, which was 10,000 baht. I didn't really find it that fishy. So I messaged them and they had like a whole website and their page was completely filled with sold cameras. They sent me a message and they said, oh, add us on Line. Line is another chat thing in Thailand. So I added them online, I sent them a message, I was like, hey, like, I'm interested in the G7X, and they were like, yeah, it's 9,999 baht. And I was like, okay, cool. Is it brand new? Is it refurbished? Like, why is it so cheap? And they said, oh, it's brand new with box, everything. They sent me their QR code so I could scan it and pay for it. So I sent them the money, and the name looked a little bit sus. I showed my dad, and he started laughing. And apparently he said, oh, I didn't know you actually went through with it. Nice. Nothing happened until 3:40 in the morning that same day. I got a message from them, and it was a massive paragraph, and then there was also like a receipt or something. I read it, and they said, oh, you need to pay 6,000 baht in tax. I was on FaceTime at the time, and my friend was like, you mean you got scammed? I was like, no, it's like, no way, you're joking. And he was like, you don't pay tax within the country. And I was like, yeah, I know that. I got really upset, so I started bawling my eyes out, messaged my bank, and said, oh, go to the police, give you a case number, blah, blah, blah. I told my parents in the morning, they were like, oh my god. So then we went to the police station that same day. So we get to the police station and started talking to this policeman, and he was like, yeah, you need to print out everything, translate it into Thai, and then come back again so that I can do this and that. So my mom asked, what's the likelihood of her getting her money back? I said, oh, can't tell you that one. Like, we deal with these cases every day. So I sucked it up and accepted defeat. I was like, this is never gonna happen to me again. I went onto my phone straight after, and I got on a message from the shop, and they said, sorry for the hassle, we'll give you a refund in 7 days. I was like, alright, cool. And I said to my dad, what if I send them my bank account and they hack into my bank account? And he was like, that's not possible. Just send them your QR code. So I sent them a QR code, and that's that. I haven't heard from them since. I decided I still want this camera. So I went back onto Facebook Marketplace. My friend told me to join some groups, like Canon Marketplace Thailand. And I was like, okay. So I joined. What I didn't know is that when you search in the group, there's the top part, which is from within the group, then the rest of the marketplace. So then I messaged this guy, and I was, because he looked like such a normal person. I looked at his Facebook, I looked at everything, like he'd sold things before. It was just some guy. Right, I messaged him. I was like, hey, can I do cash on delivery? And he was like, yeah, of course, but can you pay like 200 baht first? Probably like $4. And I was like, yeah, of course. He sends me a photo of the box, and he's like sent me a camera, and he's giving me like a free lens and everything. I was like, okay, that's crazy, because the amount of money I was spending on this was like way cheap. In the caption it was like, yeah, I want to sell the camera, but my brother gave it to me, so I don't know how much it costs. I don't know how I feel for that. So I got the package today, no camera. I opened it up. I took a video of it, by the way. I'll put the video up. There was no camera. It was a flipping cable. Nothing to do with the camera, it was just a broken cable. I will not be buying from Marketplace ever again. Never again. So yeah, just to reiterate my statement, I will never, ever, 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 ever be buying from Marketplace ever again. Have a nice day.
This is how I got scammed into sending 40,000 dirhams to somebody. Not just my money, but somebody else's money as well. If I can be this stupid to pull something off like this, then you can too. So let me tell you what to look out for.
Nobody's as stupid as you.
Clearly. It all started on Monday when I received this invitation to a WhatsApp group. It's called Digital Essence 8, and I don't know where they got my number from, but it has this whole story about their brand. ये बहुत normal चीज़ है कि task आती हैं online और आप you sign up for that और आप वो task complete करते हो, आप उसका payout मिलता है, तो मुझे लगा कि कोई legit चीज़ होगी, सोचा कि मैं try कर लेती हूँ. There was a link that you were supposed to open. स्क्रीनशॉट लेके फिर आपने उस पर एक और लिंक दी हुई थी ग्रुप पे, जो कि टेलीग्राम की लिंक थी. तो वो स्क्रीनशॉट आपको टेलीग्राम पे भेजना था किसी को. मैंने भेज दी. उसके बाद उन्होंने मेरी सारी बैंक अकाउंट डिटेल्स ली ताकि मुझे वो पे कर सके उस टास्क का. ये सब हो गया. वो पे आउट मुझे मिल गया. वो बेसिकली उनका पॉइंट था कि मुझे ट्रस्ट हो जाए उनके ऊपर कि पे हो रहा है, तो मैंने वो कर लिया. उनमें से 3 टास्क ऐसी थी जो जिसमें यू हैड टू पे मनी योरसेल्फ, and get a profit according to what you're paying. मैंने उसको बोला कि I'm not paying anything to you guys because I think the
तुम बस में थी और तुम्हें कहा गया था कि ये स्कैम है और इस चीज को ना एंगेज करो।
और मैंने कहा
तुम जब ये कर रही थी तो मैं बोला था नेहा ये क्या करिए, तुमने कहा चुप हो जाओ, मेरे टास्क कंप्लीट करने दो।
Basically,
The top 3 scammers of all time. Can you guess how much they stole? Number 3. Charles Ponzi's name is synonymous with the Ponzi scheme, where returns to earlier investors are paid with money from newer ones. His name is forever associated with the concept of financial fraud. Number 2. Hushpup is a Nigerian who launder money obtained from business email compromise frauds and other scams, including schemes that defrauded a U.S. law firm out of $40 million, illegally transferred $14.7 million from a foreign financial institution, and targeted to steal $124 million from an English Premier League club. Number 1. Bernie Madoff operated the largest Ponzi scheme in history, defrauding investors of approximately $65 billion. In 2008, the financial crisis prompted investors to withdraw their funds, leading to the scheme's unraveling.
This is the easiest part, so if you get scammed, this is on you, okay? The way that you know if they're a scammer or not is if they're sending you money right away. If they're not sending you money immediately, they're not real pay pigs. If they ask you for any type of money, they're not real pay pigs. The pay pigs know how this works, okay? You're not gonna have to explain anything to them. The real pay pigs will just send you money and DM you and say, "Sent goddess," and that's when you answer the DM. This is why it's important to have the tribute in the bio, so they know how much to send you for you to even respond. When I first started, my tribute was at like $25 or $50, but now it's at $100. So if they don't immediately send me $100 as soon as they follow me or DM me, I don't even acknowledge them. That's how you weed out the real pay pigs and the scammers. Any real pay pig knows that they have to impress you for you to even keep the conversation going. So the other day, I had a pay pig buy me a Prada purse off the bat because he wanted to impress me and keep a relationship going. That's how you know they're real. If you're questioning it, they're not real.
Get ready with me while I tell you how I got scammed by my art school. I'm going to start this video by saying that this was my personal experience of art school. I'm sure there's many of you out there that have gone to a really, really great one. Mine just wasn't one of them. I went to art school right out of high school, and I just want to start by saying like this was not a cheap school. It was very expensive. I live in Pennsylvania, and it was as much as my state school, which is Penn State a year. So that's very expensive. And although it was a very expensive school, it came with a lot of perks. It was supposed to be like the best of the best. So you'd be able to like bounce ideas and learn from all these other people. And they also had a lot of really expensive equipment and studio space that we were told we would be able to use for life. And I did learn from a lot of my classmates, definitely more than I did the teachers, but it was not a school for the best of the best. It really did just seem like they let anyone who applied go there. Like, didn't even need to be like good to pass a class. You kind of just had to show up and, you know, turn something in. And a lot of the kids that were actually like good ended up dropping out. I went to school for photography, and photography is very different than it was, you know, a few decades ago. And all of our teachers were like very much stuck in a certain way of photography. So it's like, I'm not even learning for like this like new digital age of photography. Just like the things that people are buying and like are so different. And what really pissed a lot of people off is they had known for 2 years before I even attended this school that I was going to be like the last graduating class. So like all that like free studio and like free studio equipment that was like promised like didn't exist because they ended up bulldozing the school to the ground. And I have no idea why they did this, but they like sent out like accepting letters to like the class that was going to follow mine. And then like 2 weeks before school start, it was like, hey, sorry, like we're actually going to close and there's going to be no more classes. So like these people thought they were going to college, and then 2 weeks before college was supposed to start, found out that they weren't, and then like couldn't apply and go somewhere else until like spring. It really just seems like they like accepted like my class so they could make like some like last minute money, because clearly this school wasn't making any money. And now I have student loans and a useless degree.
I got scammed on Facebook Marketplace last week. Let me take this down real fast. Okay, back to the story. I was on Facebook Marketplace looking for a digital camera. I didn't know which one I wanted, so I was just kind of scrolling to see what popped up. And lo and behold, I see a Canon G7X for $89. I'm very aware of the hype of the Canon G7X because of TikTok, so I was wary of it being a scam. But whenever I looked at the person who posted its Facebook profile, it looked legit. It was an older lady named Leah who posted it, and her profile had posts of her and her husband, her kids, all the way back from like 2015. Also had other Facebook listings that were sold as well. So I was like, this is real. I just figured that she was not aware of all the hype surrounding the Canon G7X, and she was like, oh, I'll just sell it for $89. Little did I know, at this point I feel like I hit the lottery because I saw the post whenever it first went up, but it wasn't a nearby city, so I was like, I just get one of my friends to pick it up and mail it to me. She ends up responding and saying that she'll only ship it, but in my mind I'm like, okay, perfect, and then the lady can just ship it directly to me. The lady says that we can use PayPal or Wise. Okay, I only use PayPal goods and services. Is that fine? Because I know if I get scammed I can get my money back that way, and she says yes. She tells me to add like an extra $7 for shipping, and she sends me her PayPal email address. This is where I should have realized. Her PayPal email address had a bunch of letters and numbers, and then at inbox.eu. EU usually means that they're from Europe, but I was like, I don't know, maybe she's from Europe originally, I don't know. Send her the money and it goes through, and then what do I see as soon as I send the money? That I successfully sent the money to Yusuf. Now, who is Yusuf? As this lady's name is Leah, her husband's name is James, and her son's names are not Yusuf. So at this point, I'm like, okay, I'm pretty sure I just got scammed. And the person starts saying, did you send the money? It didn't go through. I don't see it. And they say, are you a scammer? And me? Am I a scammer? I sent the money. But pretty much at this point, I knew I got scammed. They stopped responding, and I immediately tell PayPal, I just got scammed, like send me my money back. That's how I got scammed on Facebook Marketplace for a Canon G7X, which I was so excited to get. And of course, it was a scam. Just be wary of who you're sending money to online. Just make sure it's not a scammer.
Let him go. Let him go. You have been sad over him for quite some time now. Don't ever allow someone to take your love from you. It's not theirs to take. That guy or girl is not your only source of love. Love is within you, and it's always yours.
Yesterday I got scammed by a second-time client for a FS service. So I'm in Melbourne for this week, right? And yesterday I met up with a second-time client. The first time we had met was in Brisbane, and then yesterday rush because I have a booking in literally 10 minutes. So the first time we met a couple of months ago, no issues at all, seemed like a decent guy. I wasn't uncomfortable with him whatsoever, so I didn't mind meeting him again yesterday. Actually pre-booked this service on Sunday, so he paid a deposit. So when he was making his payment, he was like, oh, can I pay my deposit via Pay ID? And that was my mistake over there. So in this industry, never accept Pay ID, always accept BIMIT, because in that way payment cannot be reversed. So that's on me. Anyways, so I was like, okay, sure. So he gave me an excuse saying that something is up with his BIMIT. And silly me thinking, oh, I already met him once, no issue. So I said, yeah, that's fine. So he booked a PSE service, which was $1,200 for him. So on Sunday, he paid like $100 deposit, and fast forward yesterday, we meet up. And then when we actually meet up, he was like, oh, can I Pay ID you the rest of the $1,100? And I'm like, okay, fine. At first I was hesitant, but then I did not have issues with him in the past. So I was like, yeah, sure. It's fine. You can Pay ID me the rest of the $1,100. Just do my wing off camera. Anyways, after our service, everything is fine. We're having a really good conversation, and he leaves. He was like saying that he has to fly in the state for work. Like, I didn't pay attention too much to what he was saying, and he leaves. Right? Didn't think too much for it. Afternoon, check my email, and in my email, I received a email from my bank saying that there was this $100 transaction into your business account where the person has stated that he mistakenly transferred it. So when I saw my email, I got super confused because there were a couple of transactions of deposits sent to my account. And I was like thinking, who must be this? Like, I was very confused for a second that what is actually going on, because it has never happened with me where this sort of reversal transaction occurred. And then 20 minutes later, I received another email stating that there has been $1,100 sent to your account, which was mistakenly sent by this person. And then automatically I knew it was this guy. I messaged this guy like, what is going on? Like, I was gonna be talking to the bank if it really comes to need, I will be talking to the police. And what he sends me is, who is this? So by now I know that he's just messing with me. Anyways, so I sent an email yesterday to my bank with text messages as evidence that, you know, he received the service and he willingly paid for it, because that's one thing I always keep track, text messages from clients, because I always thought a similar situation like this would occur, and it eventually did. I sent the email, and then this morning I was on call with them stating that I do not authorize this, and they were like, yeah, sure, and they canceled his request. Honestly, this is solely on me. I made the mistake of trusting a returning client, taking pay ID when the standard form of payment in this industry is BIMIT when it comes to deposits, and the rest is cash, and you can like deposit into your business account however you like. Yeah, so this is solely on me. It was really frustrating because when I received that email yesterday, it was quite frustrating. Like, I had bookings planned out and I felt like I wasn't into it more because I was just thinking of this situation. Like, I just kept, like, you know, like, I don't know how to explain. Like, I was just like, you know, kind of blaming myself that I should have taken BIMIT, no matter if it was a returning client or a new client. That's the safest form of deposit. I ended up blocking the dude because I do not want to see him again. And if I do see him, I cannot explain the rage I'm feeling right now. But eventually that all got sorted, and hopefully for the best. I have now learned my lesson. Whether it's new or returning clients, I don't give a flying F. No pay ID. Anyways, this is me all done. I hope you guys have an amazing day ahead, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.
What the hell? What the hell? What the hell say?
During my freshman year of college, I overheard the boys in the room above me call me a 6 out of 10. So for context, my freshman year, I was in room 108, and these boys were directly above me in room 208. The windows were basically like this, and whenever my window was open and whenever their window was open, I could hear everything that was going on. This friend group of boys would always meet in 208, and they would smoke together out of the window. So one night I'm going to bed, it's like 1 a.m. and they're in 208 all together smoking. As I'm falling asleep, I have my window open because it's hot in my room. I like to sleep in a ridiculous cold room, and what do you know, I can hear their whole conversation. But things start to get a little crazy when I hear my name get brought up. At the time, I was in a class with two of them, and one of them had a very distinct voice. Like, you know those voices when they speak, you're just like, yep, that's that person, and it's like you don't even have to know them that well to recognize their voice. Well, I could very distinctly hear this one boy start talking about how he has a class with me, and the other one's like, oh yeah, like, we all have a class together. Then one of them chimes in and says, yeah, she was one of the first girls I saw on Instagram when I decided I was going to Northeastern. I saw her Instagram and I was like, damn, she's so hot. Starts off great, like, I'm not gonna be, mad if someone calls me hot, whatever. But then the one with the very distinct voice starts talking about how in the class that we have together, I don't look nearly the same. They pull up my Instagram. Sounds like they're passing the phone along because you're hearing, each of the boys' opinions about me. The one with the very distinct voice. I feel like I need to come up with a name for him, so we're just gonna call him Darren, okay? So Darren is the one that I had a class with, and Darren is also the one that has a very distinct voice. So Darren decides he wants to chime in, and Darren says, oh, she does not look like that in real life. She looks like a 9 out of 10 on Instagram, and a 6 out of 10 in real life. Obviously, after I heard them say this, I was shocked. I was very upset. And, you know, the Darren, I think we're calling him, I forget. After he said that, all the other boys were like, oh yeah, like, she's not even hot on Instagram, like, she's not even, like, that pretty, like, I don't know what, like, you're saying, she's not even a 9 out of 10. Really ripping on me for no reason. Eventually, their conversation moves on, but obviously I don't. I'm still, like, so upset and so mad. But if you know anything about me, you will know. There is no way someone is gonna wrong me and get away with it. I decided, the second that I saw Darren the next day, I was gonna confront him. For some reference, we were all abroad together our freshman year, and it was a very small group of us, so I knew that the likelihood of me seeing him was high. So what do you know? I'm walking home from class, back to my dorm building, and I see Darren. He's walking to class, I'm walking back from class. He has his AirPods in, so I stop him, I tap him on the shoulder, I go, you're Darren, right? And he's like, he looks at me all confused, he's like, yeah. And I'm like, so I actually just wanted to let you know I'm in the room right below you and all your friends, and last night I actually did hear everything that you guys had to say about me, and I just wanted to let you know that, like, I know what it feels like to be in a dark place. I know what it feels like to be insecure and feel down on yourself. So if you ever need someone to talk to or someone to relate to, I just wanted to let you know I am here for you, and you can always reach out to me. His jaw was dropped, to say the least. He looked at me like, the only words that he could get out of his mouth were, I am so sorry. And I looked at him and I gave him a great big smile and I said, no, seriously, it is totally okay. And I walked away. Now, of course, he told all his friends that I heard what they all said, but of course he didn't tell them how I confronted him. No, that would be way too embarrassing for him. So he just decided to leave that part out. You know, at the end of the day, if he was going through something and he was obviously very insecure, then it was probably worth it. So, best of luck to you, Darren. I hope that you're doing well out there.
One thing that I don't think is talked about enough is how common nowadays AliExpress dropshippers are just in every day-to-day life. And if this video can honestly stop like one person from being scammed like I was, that's honestly enough for me. I went to the Manly markets over the weekend and I saw all these beautiful little jewelry stores that promote themselves as small businesses with handmade products, but they were far from it. And honestly, I was so focused on making sure I was having a good time with my friends that I would not have even noticed that these people were scamming unless my friend had pointed it out. My friend was looking for something possibly to spoil herself with, considering how her birthday was coming up, and she just wanted to get herself a cute little gift that would be quite unique. We saw this one store which had plenty of jewelry. I honestly would not have even noticed, that's my cat Lilo, that they weren't what they said they were if it wasn't for her asking me specifically about one necklace which I hadn't even noticed myself. I think honestly that was a sign from the universe, because she could have asked anyone else, and I immediately pulled her away and I said, I'm not kidding you. I literally got a delivery last week for that exact necklace off AliExpress, and it cost me, I think, $3.50 including shipping, and they were trying to sell it for $45, advertised as 18 karat gold and waterproof, when it is certainly not. I could honestly show you guys the very sneaky video that I took of this business's setup, including all the AliExpress necklaces, falsely advertised for an insane amount of money, and I could compare the exact necklace my friend was interested in the one that I got. While obviously I understand that people need to make money somehow in their businesses, and obviously you have to source from somewhere, I don't believe in false advertising, and I don't believe in such a high markup. I just think that for someone like me who's a casual worker who has a full-time uni study load, I can't afford to think that I'm buying a really good quality product when I could literally be saving $42. Honestly, if it wasn't for the time I got scammed of almost $300 myself, I probably wouldn't have ever turned to AliExpress as something I shop on, and then I wouldn't have been able to recognize this kind of thing in today's society. Especially more recently, people have started to realize that brands literally all get their stuff from the same places and just hike up the price. I feel like AliExpress is going to become more and more popular. Honestly, I found like so many dupes on there that have been really good quality and you wouldn't be able to tell. I always get compliments on all pieces of my jewelry, and 9 times out of 10 they were like $3 from AliExpress. So yeah, that's my everyday go-to glowy light makeup look, and that's the story of how everyone's getting scammed.
All of my money was just stolen. Today I was the victim of phone fraud. Somebody called saying that they were from my bank, from the fraud department of my credit card, that there were fraudulent charges on my card. He asked to verify, he verified them, asked me if I did them, and I said no, and then he said, okay, I'm gonna cancel your card right away, like, I'm gonna help you out, don't worry about it. He somehow already had see my transactions on that card. So he went through like the most recent ones and asked me like, is this legitimate? Is this legitimate? I was like, yes, like that I know. And then he somehow got access to, I didn't give him any passwords, nothing. He like already had stuff. He just asked me for like normal verification questions. And he was somehow able to access my account, and he wiped my checking and my savings clean. I've reported it to BMO fraud, and I'm going to the police station now to report it as well. Just be so careful when people call you. Please, just be careful.